What's going on, everyone? So here we find ourselves, another beautiful Monday, November 30th. So things really haven't been, all that great. I can't complain because, like always, I'm here, I'm alive, my family's alive, which is most important. But man, for some reason, this bad luck, I don't find this bad luck. This bad luck finds me. With that being said, so what's going on? Well, for the past, about 2 weeks ago, I believe, yes, 2 weeks ago, because that was the last time that I recorded, I started with the right-hand drive RSX, and obviously, as you can imagine, if I'm bringing it up, it's because I'm still not done with it. I mean, man, the details is what's really consumed my time. I mean, for anybody who's put together a car before, and I'm not talking about wheels, suspension, I'm talking about, literally putting together a car from practically a bare shell, it is difficult. So, as you can imagine, I have little parts, little details here and there. So just going through all my stuff, looking for the right part, looking for the part that goes where I know it's supposed to go, has consumed the majority of the past 2 weeks. And, amongst other things, it was Thanksgiving, which I don't even want to speak about my diet. I should mention that, for purposes of being transparent, I've yet not stuck to my canned good diet, and I have no excuse for it. I've put it off, and I don't know. I'll get to that later. But I think the biggest thing that I should probably mention is a business that I actually had in the works. I've already paid this software engineer, which is a fancy term for website developer, since May. I paid him half of the amount that we agreed upon so that he could begin on the work, finish it, and then I'd pay him the remainder. And as a matter of fact, I gave him an additional $500 sign-on bonus just to retain services with him so that he could see that I truly am trying to show him that I appreciate him. And so the original deadline for this project was 4 months. We signed this contract in May, and 4 months from May is September. So come September, nothing. I went ahead and, out of the goodness of my heart, I try to see the best in people, even though those aren't necessarily my thoughts. I try to see the best in people. So I gave him an extension, and the agreed extension was on November the 28th, which obviously was 2 days ago. Lo and behold, once again, for whatever reasons, this project wasn't done, and I was told that he's not going to be able to complete this project, which is fine. I understand. He had his reasons, and it's my job as a human being who's just as imperfect as him to understand. It was coincidental that I don't want to change the subject too much, but it was coincidental that that this happened because I just started the book of James, and I believe it was in chapter 1 because I'm only in chapter 2. The book of James, and it says that in order for our Father to forgive us, present us with forgiveness whenever it's that time, we as well need to be forgiving. So, here I am after everything that I've experienced in my life with people, just not completing their end of the deal. And here I am, naturally, the first thing I did was possibly, just get angry, right? Get angry. So the first thing that I did was get angry, and second thing that I did was recollect James, this book of James. Let me move out of the way of this smoke, because for some reason this smoke, I don't try to find this smoke finds me. Was recollect the book of James, and what did it say? It said that in order for our Father to forgive me whenever it comes time that I myself as well need to be forgiving. So the first thing I thought about was, well, you know what? There's no sense in me approaching this person in any way, because what's done is done. And I know in my heart that I've tried my best to make this person feel comfortable, to want to work with me. Fortunately, we have a contract, which is one thing that I can't stress enough. Contracts. You know, I tell myself, you know, what is it? What is my purpose in life? I feel that my purpose is to somehow establish trust, fairness, and contracts are absolutely an essential part of this whole process of trust and fairness. So with that being said, I mean, obviously for business people it's a no-brainer, but I think that can apply across the whole spectrum. So contracts are absolutely essential. So I spoke to the person. I let him know that he's not directly asking me for forgiveness, but what he's telling me adds up to him asking for forgiveness for not being able to complete his part of the agreement, which is fine. So at this point, you know, I explained to him, hey, listen, you know, obviously you've had this money of mine for months already, and I'm not a bank, you know, I'm not in the business of loaning out money, you know. If that was the case, obviously this interest would have been accruing. So what's going to happen is I'm going to ask you to repay me in full by December the 15th, because obviously you've already had this amount of my money for months. So I believe that December the 15th is fair. And afterwards, we'll go ahead and speak about, you know, whatever it is that we can come to an agreement as far as to remedy this whole situation. But why specifically did I mention this? I suppose I specifically mentioned this because you know, there's a lot of things going on, and as hard as I'm trying to do my best and find stability, establish myself so that I could do work for my fellow brothers and sisters, my fellow human beings, there's always something that's coming up in my life. And, you know, whether it's purposely or not, it happens. So when I wish you all a great day, I wish you all a great day sincerely, because if you're alive and you're watching this video, you know, what more can you ask for, right? Despite whatever circumstances we may be going through in our lives, we need to find a way to be positive about it. And I myself, I feel that every struggle that I've been through, every difficulty that I've been through in my life, it's been for a reason, to actually be able to cope with it. You know, right now, here I am, about to barbecue. You know, I smile like with guilt. I smile with guilt because like a child, right? You know, when a child knows that they've done something wrong, I smile with guilt because, you know, 2 weeks ago when I made the last two videos, one of them was, you know, formulating my diet around this whole canned food, being that I'm trying my best to not go out. But that wasn't the case. You know, I did go out. Obviously I had to go purchase this meat that I'm going to be barbecuing right now, and that's what makes me feel guilty. It makes me feel guilty that, you know, I am trying my best to keep up with a diet, to find this motivation to pursue this diet, to, you know, to continue with this diet. And there's no excuse for me not having continued with this diet. I mean, I don't care about Thanksgiving, because I didn't even eat turkey on Thanksgiving. I'm not a person who has to have that for their Thanksgiving meal. But like I said, I'm just grateful, despite whatever it is that I'm encountering right now at this particular time, to be here right now speaking to you all, and you know, about to barbecue. Now I do intend to get with my diet. As a matter of fact, this actually is somewhat, so to speak, day one of the diet, because I'm trying my best to cut out all sugars. And I think I forgot to mention to you that for the immediate time, I'm going to be going on an oatmeal diet. So we've purchased sugar-free syrup, fruits, natural sugar. Okay, so you got me there. Natural sugars, and in the attempt to eat oatmeal for the following, I believe it's 2 weeks. I'm not exactly too sure. My wife has the details. So we're going to be doing that. If worse comes to worse, like I said, we have our canned food for this whole pandemic, because it is something that I take seriously. I mean, health is of the utmost importance. So I mean, there's no going around that. But what's the message today? Well, one of the things that I did want to mention to you is that after this happened yesterday with my website developer, I went ahead and I was scrolling online, and there's an online buddy of mine who posted Psalm 5-12. And Psalm 5-12 speaks about the Lord blessing righteous people with favor. So I went ahead and looked up, characteristics of a righteous person. And obviously I know from James, being able to forgive and move past, any circumstance or difficulty that you find yourself in is very important. Obviously, if you allow this anger to manifest itself in you, I mean, nothing good is going to come of it. So I went ahead and looked up righteous characteristics, and I came upon an article that says qualities of a righteous man or woman. So it just so happened that Psalm 5:12 was what got me here, and in this article it spoke of Psalm 5:4, and I want to say that one of the key words in Psalm 5:4, where I'm not exactly too sure where I got this from, was the doctrines. I believe it said something to the extent, and please look this up. Please look this up. Don't quote me. I'm trying my best to communicate, exactly what's been going on in my life. And since so many things actually go on, it's not just oh, here I am spending my day putting together a car. So many different details arise. I'm trying my best to tell you all this in chronological order, but it doesn't always happen that way. So anyways, 5-4 speaks about doctrines, I believe. I mean, it's the only explanation of where I would get this from. So, anyways, it may or may not say that I feel guilty for this disseminating false information. But one of the things that I did read yesterday, amongst everything else that I read, was not believing in the doctrines of men. So I went ahead and looked up doctrines, and so many different things came out. Doctrines for the military, doctrines for religions, doctrines for even being a citizen of certain countries. So after I looked up these doctrines, I came upon another article, and this specific article said, dismantling the doctrine of discovery. So keep in mind, this is another article from another link that I looked up after doing research, and one of the things that it talks about is this doctrine that I suppose not necessarily enables, but gives people the green light to conquer and absorb other what is the word that it specifically used here? Indigenous lands. Right to invade and seize indigenous lands and dominate indigenous peoples. So when I read that, it made me feel indifferent about everything, because my main goal is to unite people. So I just couldn't understand, here we're essentially going into comparing doctrines, and it seems like even when you compare what you think is the doctrine that you're supposed to follow in your life, it just doesn't seem fair. It doesn't seem fair to me. So I went ahead and continued to read this article, and I came upon the video that was embedded in this one article. So I pressed play, and it's only a 3-minute video. I mean, it wasn't too much of my time. So I watched the video, and near the end, there was a man who mentioned a specific word, and that word was ecumenical. So I really can't, let me see here. I'm not too sure if you can get a good look at that word. It may be pronounced ecumenical, ecumenical. He pronounced it ecumenical. So, I actually didn't know the correct spelling of this word. So I looked it up, and I finally came across this word. And according to what the definition is, promoting or relating to unity among the world's Christian churches. So apparently, I mean, it goes even further when I'm looking up this word ecumenical, that there are different denominations of Christianity. So I can't really say that I'm too educated when it comes to different denominations of Christianity. I thought there was only one denomination of Christianity. But apparently this specific word is bringing together all Christians. And I felt that it was for a reason that I specifically came upon this word, ecumenical. That's what I want to do. I want to unite people. But just being indifferent from, doctrines and exactly what is commanded upon one, I feel that me in my heart, I shouldn't apply a specific doctrine to my life, only because when I speak of uniting people, I don't want to unite only Christians. I want to unite the world. So this is just me speaking in future terms. I mean, obviously, I haven't even been able to make an impact in my own county, much less the state, much less the nation, much less the world. But it was a powerful word to me, ecumenical. So I believe I'm on the right track. It's just a matter of continuing with it. So I'm going to finish off there, and I'm also as well, just because it's eating at me, and going to inform you guys that 2 weeks ago when I weighed myself, I actually wasn't at 210. Now I'm at 210. But I wish I could just take this camera and all of a sudden, magically appear in front of the scale. That way I can show you guys. But this time, rest assured, I am at 210, and the diet journey starts today, Monday, November 30th. So this was the first video that I wanted to record for you all. I will be recording another video. I've actually already been recording as far as updates on that right-hand drive. Oh man. Anyways, guys, I hope you all are doing good, and I hope that y'all continue to hang in there.